You're watching the Sports Central Podcast.
Welcome to the Sports Central Podcast.
Appreciate it.
Quentin Lake, you're a SoCal guy, from a UCLA guy with the LA Rams still. Like, what's life like for you right now?
It's been great. Obviously I'm blessed to be able to, take part in my 5th training camp now, which is awesome. Being a part of such a great organization, such a good team, it's always fun. And especially being in a similar area like Marina Del Rey or down here at LMU near the airport. Like my family, where a couple of my family members stay, is probably like 15 minutes from here. So it's really cool just to get the family out, be in a familiar environment, and just enjoy this amazing SoCal weather. So it's been awesome.
Let's go back to when it was cold weather.
Yeah.
We all know how last season ended.
I remember that interview.
You remember it very well?
I remember that interview clearly. I just watched that interview.
Really? How much does that stick in your head, and how much does that translate into the motivation for this year?
Well, look, it looks like we don't have too many cold weather games. Yeah. So a lot of the times it seems like we're going to be indoors, but the motivation behind that was just, whenever you paint a picture on somebody to say they can't do something, that gives me all the motivation because, you can never put a label on people. You can never say, hey, this is what you can only just do this. Like you can't play in cold weather games. Well, you don't know that.
Yeah.
You don't know our team. You don't know the battles that we go through. So that's where the motivation comes to, because I can believe if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. And I feel like I'm a living example of that too. People doubted me in being able to get to this position where I am today.
Yep.
And I'm here now. So, it's labels are everything. In the day and age that we're living in right now, it's, you can say whatever you want to, but that doesn't mean that you can or cannot accomplish it.
Well, let's pinpoint it to being one win away from the Super Bowl. Yeah. How do you approach this season knowing how last season ended?
Yeah, it gives you it sucks.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Because
you always
keep it real.
Yeah, keep it real. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, you look at, there's always another year. And luckily, we have a lot of continuity. A lot of continuity on offense, defense. Got a great new addition in terms of coaches on special teams. Got some great new additions as players as well. So we filled a lot of the holes that we needed. And then you look at it, a lot of people have been talking about, obviously, the Myles Garrett trade. You get a guy who won Defensive Player of the Year and who's still in his prime, who's doing great things. I mean, he's a freak.
That's what I was wondering. Like, talk to me. Your first impression.
I mean, so we had some meetings today, and I'm always looking at the back end. What the DBs are doing. Our technique, our effort, our hustle. And the coach was like, "Yeah, they might have caught the ball, but." Look at Myles here. And I wasn't paying attention to it at first. And then I saw, I'm like, oh yeah, this whole league's not going to have enough time they're not going to have enough time in the pocket. So, incredible athlete. The stuff he can do, you kind of ask yourself, am I even athletic?
Wow.
That's where it's at.
Did you have a moment where maybe you had like that defensive huddle and like, oh shoot, Myles Garrett's right there?
I did. I mean, it was cool. I had been around him, talked to him, but he's just a great addition.
Yeah.
It's, seeing him and doing what he's doing, especially out here on the football field, is incredible. And, just have a player like that it's nothing but beneficial.
Now, speaking of great addition, because of all these additions, you guys started training camp as favorites to win the Super Bowl. Like, how do you embrace that while also not allowing that to be a distraction?
To be honest, it doesn't really matter to me. We have to continue to work each and every day, There was one point in time where people didn't believe in us, and we were like a dark horse, or we were like not even going to make the playoffs like a couple years ago. Like I said, headlines are going to be whatever people want to make them. At the end of the day, we know as a team what we have. We know the talent that we have, but we also know that teams are looking at us, and we're going to get every team's best every single week.
Yeah, how do you handle that then? Because the target's on your back.
Just hit them in the mouth. Imagine that. You're getting your team's best, and then you go in there and shut them up. It's simple, right? Like, that's all you have to do is, that you're going to get, everybody's going to take their preparation, the opponent is going to take their preparation, their effort, and their energy to say, hey, we really need to beat the Rams.
Yeah.
But then imagine a team like us going in there, being prepared, playing with immense effort, and executing, and saying, hey, we are just coming in here to do our job, and we're going to shut you guys up. And however that looks like. And I think this too, the good teams can win in any way. If the defense isn't performing well, the offense can pick it up. If the offense isn't performing well, the defense is going to be able to pick it up too. Yeah. So all we have to do is just do our job and be able to say, can I control my 111? If we can do that, we'll be a force to be reckoned with.
One thing that I think about is you as an individual, you get, Chris Shula who's saying like you're the glue to keep the defense together, or Sean McVay saying like you're a dog. Mm-hmm. Knowing your whole journey and people who doubted you, hearing them say that, like, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great. I think I didn't want to be a superstar. I never wanted to be, have that stardom, but I wanted to be respected. Mm-hmm. That was it. Respect is as a man, respect is everything in general. Yeah. But to have the respect from other guys in the league, other guys that you've looked up to, coaches, staff, members of this organization, that's all I want. And, I still feel like, it's never enough. I have to keep earning it each and every day. I have to go out there and make sure I'm doing my job, make sure I'm communicating, make sure I'm hustling. And it's going to be an ongoing mission for myself internally to make sure that, I'm doing the best thing to be a leader and to be a guy that says, hey, when my teammates look at me and say, hey, that's the way it's supposed to be done.
I have this mindset where it's like I strive for perfection, even though I know perfection is not obtainable. 100%. Is that the same
mindset? Same mindset.
Where does that come from for you?
It really comes from my father.
Yeah.
My dad was a guy who has 20 years of experience overall coaching and playing.
Yeah.
And he played in 13 years, 5-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All, 3-time
first team
All Pro,
man.
2-time second team All Pro. So he was, the accolades speak for itself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he always told me, Q, you want to make sure that you are giving your best no matter what. Because if you don't do it, who will?
Yeah.
And, I took that and I'm like, we always talk about it. It's an acronym called APE, your attitude, your preparation, your effort.
Okay.
And making sure that, your attitude's right. You have a smile on your face. You're treating people with respect. Your preparation, are you studying the film? Are you doing your homework? Are you the most, knowledgeable and smart person on the field where you can know every position? And then your effort. Nobody outworks you. Nobody hustles you. And when it's in between the white lines, you don't have a lot of friends. You're trying to go win a job.
Yeah.
And that's not that you're being mean or you're being disrespectful, but at the same time, everybody knows this is a cutthroat league. Yeah. And you have to be able to make sure that you're holding your own weight so that you can shine where you want to be.
What are you, like 26 now?
27.
27. Yeah. How much do you still talk to your dad about just being prepared?
Talked to him yesterday.
What are those conversations
literally
like?
All the stuff we just talked about.
Yeah.
Just setting goals.
Yeah.
He always told me, Q, I wish in my career I would have set my bar and set my standards, set my goals higher. His goal was play 10 years, make at least one Pro Bowl, one All-Pro. And I said, okay, I'm going to do you one better. I said, I'm going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Why not? Shoot for the stars, land on the moon. And for me, it was, like we talked about earlier, it's anything that you set your mind to, you can do.
Yeah.
You have to take incremental steps each and every day to be able to do that. And it's all about consistency. So a conversation like that came up, and he said, Q, have fun with it. Enjoy it. Enjoy, being with your teammates, enjoying, the game. And this will forever stick with me. And I said it before. He said, no, there's no friends. It's not that you can't have, friends on the team when you're off the field, but there are so many alpha dogs, so many competitors on the field where you want to make sure, how are you going to shine? Mm-hmm. And you have to that starts with practice. It starts with training camp. It starts with everything you do off the field, whether that's, taking care of your body in the film room. So, just making sure I'm doing everything like that. And those conversations have been great. Every time it's, we talk about ball and it's laughs and giggles. And, I've talked to him about, what it looks like in his career of, the difference of playing in the 80s and playing in the 90s compared to playing.
Bigger shoulder pads.
Bigger shoulder pads where you can choke slam a guy and not get fined or penalized. Totally different game, but understanding that perspective is always cool too from a guy who did it at the highest level.
There's a guy, I don't know if you've heard of him, but a guy named LeBron James who just
pretty familiar.
He left the Lakers to go to Philly. But he has his son Bronny. And Bronny has to kind of live in that shadow of his dad.
Right.
How are you able to kind of identify yourself as, hey, I'm just going to be Q and do my own thing. I'm not going to be in the shadow of my father, despite how successful he is.
It's a little bit easier when your dad's not LeBron James.
Yeah.
So, it's not as big. You're not living in as big of a shadow. But for me, it's different because I always would, whenever there's a father-son league player, whether that's in the NBA or NFL, I always like to ask guys, was your dad your role model? Mm-hmm. Some guys say, I wanted to be somebody else. Some guys say yes. And for me, it was yes. He's who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
that's why I wear 37. He wore 37.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he modeled the way in terms of what it meant to be successful in the NFL and to be successful as a man. And, you know, my sister would get mad at me when I was younger. She was like, why are you always trying to be like dad? I'm like, well, that's all I know. Like, he's my role model. He's my guy. And I never felt like it was a burden living in his legacy and his shadow. I always embraced it.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, you know, because not too many people can say, hey, my dad played for 13 years in the league. My dad coached in the NFL. My dad did all these amazing things. So I thought it was awesome.
Okay.
I thought he was my superhero growing up.
All right, let's now focus more on you. Preseason games, or even just regular season games. Like, how does Q get prepared for that? Like, take me from the beginning. Like, what do you wake up? What's the whole routine like?
I mean, it starts. I've been looking at 49ers film already. So,
okay.
I mean, you got to, you know, just trying to see, you know, what you can. It's always who can get the next step ahead.
Yeah.
So, but I'll give you a pretty
like
laid
when you
out
wake up,
plan.
you eat the same cereal.
Right.
Yeah.
So if it's the week of the game,
Okay.
right? So let's just say it's week 2.
Okay.
So we already finished week 1. Mm-hmm. So that Monday, you know, you'll go over the corrections of the previous game.
Yep.
You'll come in. I'll wake up and eat breakfast. I'll go in and get a lift in, a run in to flush all that lactic acid out. We'll come back after. We'll do offensive, defensive meetings. You know, review the film. Then we'll have a team meeting to just kind of go over things, whether we won or lost. You know, it'll be corrections or, you know, good plays, bad plays, whatever. After that, you try to get your body right. How fast can you turn over? Then you come back, obviously lunch, whatever you want to do.
Do you eat the same things?
Whatever's a bit, whatever.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
whatever it is.
So I always ate the same thing when I played, but go ahead.
Well, that's so pre-game meal, yes.
That's what I'm getting at, game day.
Game day. I'm starting from Monday, though.
Okay.
So, I'll shorten it. So, Mondays looks like, you know, you start with a good film review. You probably review a half of a game. I always like to start with a half a game. Tuesday is off day, but I like to do first and second down, explosive plays, and, you know, different type of situations. Wednesday, I'm already usually on third down, you know, and then I'll go what were their favorite personnels, what were the areas of the field where they scored the most, stuff like that. You go Thursday, it can be red zone, it could be short yardage, and it could be, you know, any type of trick plays. Friday is just a review of everything. Saturday, I usually like to take it off, clear my mind. And then Sunday is the game. So that's how I really break it down in terms of my preparation.
But like, is there a certain same song, nothing, anything?
So game day, we'll talk about game day. Game day, same playlist.
Okay.
That same playlist. I got a whole bunch of different my hype up playlists. So recently it's been Brazilian funk.
Okay.
You know, those beats in that jam gets me going. Usually same meal. I wake up, I'll go omelet, breakfast potatoes, oatmeal, and I'll do a smoothie.
Okay.
Yeah, I just added that one. The smoothie's been doing me right.
All right.
And then same type of thing when I pregame routine. I used to jog a lot, but I kind of do I still jog a lot. Jog a lot, do my own DB routine, do some more drills, and I always pray.
Yeah.
Pray before every game because, you know, I try to give the glory to the Most High. And it's really important for me to believe in that all this stuff, whether it's my life, you know, the interactions that I have, it's more than me. It definitely is. I just want to be a vessel to be able to glorify God's name, and that's it. So every time I go out there, I just, you know, I pray, and, you know, it's not I'm praying for certain things. I'm praying for an interception. I'm praying to do good, but it's just, you know, praying to be able to show people how good God is. That's it.
I know you mentioned you're already watching 49ers film. Is there a game that stands out to you the most right now?
From them?
From your schedule.
Ooh, great question.
Like, what game are you looking forward to?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to the Bills.
Why?
Why the Bills?
Yeah.
I think we play them Monday night.
Because you could have said Seahawks. You could have said 49ers. Like 49ers in Australia, but you went to the Bills.
I've said 49ers before, but I think it's just the challenge of going against Josh Allen.
Gotcha.
He is, you know, obviously won the MVP.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, great player. That's the game personally I want back because last time I played him, you know, didn't feel like I had the game I wanted to, so I want to see him again.
Interesting. What do you think it's going to be like for you going out to Australia, though?
I have no idea what it's going to be like. Don't know anything about the logistics or anything. But I will say this, it's always cool to spread the game on an international level.
Yeah.
And, we're so blessed to be able to now to, last year we played in London and this year we get to play in Australia and just, seeing all these international fans and how much they love the game of football is going to be amazing. That flight's going to be long. I know that for a fact because I did Japan and that was long. So I can't even imagine going in almost another 6 or 7 hours plus there. But whatever, our training staff and whole organization does a great job of getting us prepared and saying, hey, this is what you need to do to be successful. And they lay out a good foundation and blueprint to say, if you want to be your best on game day, here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to eat, sleep, all this stuff.
When you're mic'd up, you can hear how motivating you can be to other players and stuff like that. Like, how much preparation goes into, like, hey, I want to say this to my boys before the game, or does it come just off the top of your head?
Yeah, usually it comes off the top.
Yeah.
I try to have, some things, whether I see or hear during the week. I've stolen a couple things from Coach today. So
okay.
He's
keep it real.
He's one of the best leaders of men. He has a lot of inspirational quotes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it really just comes from the heart.
Yeah.
I try to not make it too political or not make it too cookie cutter, just what speaks to me at that moment. And I always, no matter what, try to add my faith into there because I feel like it's important. I know a lot of other guys, they're big into their faith too. So, yeah, it usually just comes out the dome. I don't really write anything down or anything.
All right, Q, it's 4th and 1. Mm-hmm. You and I are in defense. There's 1 second left. They have the ball on that 1 yard line.
Yeah.
What do you tell me, man? How you gonna motivate me for this?
Oh, so if we're on the side, so you're talking about we're on the game?
It's 4th and 1 for the offense.
Yeah.
It's 4th and goal for them.
I'd probably tell you to line your butt up. That's what I would do. Get ready for the snap. That's what I would do. But if you were talking about pregame, I would say, I'll give an example. It was, this game honors toughness.
Yeah.
And the tougher you play, the tougher that you are, the more successful that you're going to be. And if you're able to go out there, and one of the biggest weapons in life is fear. And if you can instill fear in your opponent, you're more than likely to win. It's about hitting them in the mouth each and every snap until they dwindle down and can't do it anymore. And continue to keep going and continue to keep going. That fire that you have in your heart right here,
okay, yeah,
that's what needs to be lit. This game is a blessing.
Okay.
It's a blessing to be out here, and it's more than you. You got to think about, look at all the fans, look at all the people. And a lot of you guys, you got families to feed. People are relying on you. And think about all the sacrifices that people made to get you to this point. I always say it. Everything happens for a reason. And this moment is an opportunity sent by God for you to be able to go out there and do it for yourself, your family, and more so, show God why he put you in this position. And then I'd break it down.
That's where I shoot a break. I don't know what you say on defense. Right. I have to bring this up because we just don't know. But, obviously Aaron Donald, think about making this comeback, right? Yeah. But you posted on social media like way back. You said like it's not a matter of if, it's when. Mm-hmm. Like, what makes you so confident about that?
I just know AD. I know he's usually a guy that's pretty true to his word, but he's so serious.
Yeah.
The way he takes care of his body, takes care of his craft, and the way he approached the game. So the fact that he even considered it, for me, it was like, man, if this dude's considering it, I mean, it seems like it's more than likely. Now, I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like he's been enjoying retirement, enjoying his time off. But at the same time, he did say that if, there were certain players he would love to play with, and luckily we got one.
Yeah.
And I have no question if he would be able to get in shape and all that stuff. And, whatever happens, but, whatever decision that he makes, and we hope it's one that I think everybody wants it to be. We would love to have him as a team. We would love him to, join our family. But at the same time, if he decides, hey, man, I'm okay, we're happy for him too. So this is kind of like a recruiting pitch, but
okay.
AD, like, if you want to come, please. If you don't, enjoy retirement, man. Watch us, cheer us on, and, watch us along this journey too.
Last question will be is, remember, you're that modern day guy. Yeah. You're from here, played at UCLA, played for the LA Rams. Super Bowl's here too, man. What will that mean to you personally because of everything you built and developed here and to win it here?
Yeah. It means a lot, For them to go from LA to then St. Louis, to then come back to LA, me being a guy that's super familiar with this area, driving past, SoFi, when I was growing up, SoFi wasn't even there.
Yeah.
And seeing that, but seeing the effect that one team can have on our community, you want that, and like I've been talking about, this game is bigger than me, it's bigger than the team. It affects so many lives. And we just want to give people 3 hours of entertainment and joy. And for the Super Bowl to be back in LA, it would give this whole city, I mean, even more life than it already has. You know, this city is so lively.
Yeah.
You know, you go from downtown to West Hollywood to, you know, you look at South Bay or Manhattan Beach, all the way up to the valley from where I'm from, Orange County. Like, everybody is, you know, rooting for us and hoping that we can do it. But it's just a matter of us being able to go out there and do it. But it would be awesome just to really affect the community like that. And, you know, I think it would just keep continuously growing our fan base more and more and more. And good things happened last time the Super Bowl was in LA too. So we're hoping we can, you know, repeat that as well. History repeats itself. That's something very, very true.
Oh, man, appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you for joining us.